The Bluebird, Part 1. A small house on a winter night. On a quiet winter night, in a small and peaceful village, there stood a simple wooden house. Snow rested gently on the roof. It covered the ground in a soft white blanket. The air outside was cold and still. No wind moved through the trees. No voices echoed in the street. The night felt wide and calm. Inside the house, a small fire burned low in the fireplace. Its light flickered softly against the walls. The room was simple. A wooden table stood near the window. Two small beds rested side by side. In those beds slept two children, a boy named Tiltil and his sister Mitchell. Their blankets were thin but warm. Their breathing was slow and steady. Outside the window, a bright house stood across the snowy path. Light spilled from its windows. Music drifted softly through the cold air. Laughter rose and fell in gentle waves. Tiltil opened his eyes. He sat up quietly and looked toward the bright house. "Look," he whispered. Mitchell turned slowly. Her eyes adjusted to the dark. Through the window, they could see shadows dancing inside the warm light. That celebration felt far away, yet close enough to see. Their own room remained simple. The fire glowed low. The shadows rested quietly in the corners. There was no music here, no bright decorations. Yet the silence felt safe. The children lay back down. For a moment, they listened to the soft crackle of the fire. Then a gentle glow began to fill the room. It was not sharp or sudden. It grew slowly, like morning light before sunrise. A small figure stood near the fireplace. Her presence was calm. She spoke in a soft and steady voice. "Would you like to look for the bluebird?" she asked. The words did not feel strange. They felt almost natural, as if the children had been waiting to hear them. "The bluebird," she said, "is the bird of happiness." Tiltil sat up again. Middle reached for his hand. "Yes," Tiltil answered quietly. The night remained still, and the journey began. Part 2. When things begin to speak, the gentle fairy stepped closer. She touched Tiltil's simple cap. The room did not change suddenly. Instead, it seemed to wake up. The fire in the fireplace burned brighter. Its flames stretched higher and moved with quiet energy. The bread resting on the table glowed softly. The water in the jug shimmered in the firelight. The room felt alive, yet peaceful. Tiltil blinked slowly. Mittel held his arm. A dog lifted his head. He stretched his legs and wagged his tail. He looked directly at Tiltil. His eyes were warm and loyal. "I will go with you," the dog said softly. A cat opened her eyes next. She rose with quiet grace. Her voice was smooth and calm. "I will come as well," she said. The children did not feel afraid. Even the light in the room seemed to take shape. It stepped forward gently. Light was no longer only brightness. It felt like a guide, steady and reassuring. "I will show you the way," Light said. The fairy watched with quiet satisfaction. "You must travel through places close to your heart," she explained. "Places you know, places you have forgotten." The door to the house opened slowly. Cold winter air drifted inside. The night outside was waiting. Tiltil held Middle's hand tightly. The dog walked beside them. The cat followed behind. Light moved ahead, glowing softly against the snow. The village seemed different now, not louder, not brighter, just gently awake. The journey had truly begun. Part 3. The Land of Memory. The first place they entered felt quiet and warm. Soft mist rested over the ground. The air carried a gentle glow. The snow was gone. The night did not feel cold. "This is the land of memory," Light said. The children stepped forward slowly. Shapes began to appear in the mist. Not strangers, not shadows, familiar faces. A grandmother with kind eyes, a grandfather with gentle hands. They smiled calmly. "You remembered us," the grandmother said. Her voice felt like a warm blanket. Til felt his chest grow light. Mitio stepped closer. There was no sadness here, no fear. Only warmth and quiet joy. The children sat at a small table. They shared simple food. They spoke in soft voices. Time moved differently in this place. It did not rush. The air felt steady and kind. Light remained nearby, glowing softly. High in a tree, a small bluebird fluttered. Its feathers shimmered faintly. Til looked up. For a moment, he believed the journey was complete. He reached toward the bird, but the moment he tried to hold it, the bird faded gently into the air. Not suddenly, not sharply, it simply became part of the light. Light spoke quietly. "Some happiness stays only when we feel it. It does not stay when we try to keep it." The mist began to lift. The land of memory grew softer and brighter. The time had come to move on. Til and Mittil stood together. They took one last look at the peaceful faces around them. Then they stepped forward again. The journey continued. Part 4. The Palace of Night. The path grew darker. The gentle glow of the land of memory faded, and a deeper blue surrounded them. Light moved ahead, steady and calm. In the distance, a large and quiet palace appeared. Its doors were tall. Its walls were shadowed, yet not frightening. "This is the Palace of Night," Light said softly. The children stepped inside. The air felt cool and still. The room was wide and quiet. Soft shadows rested along the walls. They did not move quickly. They did not whisper. Everything felt slow. Til held Mittil's hand. The dog stayed close to his side. The cat walked lightly behind them. Small doors lined the long hallway. Each door held something hidden: dreams, stars, gentle secrets of the dark. Night herself stood calmly nearby. She did not look angry. She looked peaceful and wise. "You may look," she said in a low voice, "but remember to be gentle." Til opened one small door. Inside, soft stars shimmered in the dark. They floated quietly like silver dust. He opened another. Inside were calm dreams, dreams of quiet fields, dreams of warm sunlight. Nothing rushed toward them. Nothing tried to frighten them. The Palace of Night felt deep, but not heavy. At last, Til saw a small glow in one corner of the hall. For a moment, he thought he saw the bluebird resting there. He stepped forward slowly. But when he reached out, the glow faded again. Light spoke gently. "Happiness can exist even in darkness," Light said. but it cannot be forced to stay. The palace doors opened once more. The journey continued. Part 5. The forest and the trees. The air changed again. They stood now in a forest. Tall trees surrounded them, their branches stretching high above. The forest felt alive. Leaves rustled softly. Roots rested deep in the earth. The trees began to speak. Their voices were slow and steady. "We have stood here for many years," one tree said. "We have seen many seasons," said another. The children listened carefully. The forest did not feel angry. It felt ancient and thoughtful. The dog remained loyal and brave. The cat watched with quiet curiosity. Some trees spoke of patience. Some spoke of storms they had survived. The wind moved gently between them. Light stepped forward again. "The forest reminds you," Light said, "that life grows slowly." Till looked up at the tall branches. He felt small, but not weak. High among the leaves, a blue shimmer appeared again. The bluebird fluttered briefly between the branches. It rested on a limb. Till held his breath. He stepped carefully toward it, but as before, when he tried to approach, the bird lifted into the air and disappeared into the light. The forest grew quiet again. The trees returned to stillness. The path opened ahead. Part 6. The children yet to come. The air became soft and bright. They entered a wide and open place filled with gentle light. It felt calm and hopeful. "This is the place of children yet to come," Light said quietly. Around them stood many children. They were not loud. They were not restless. They waited peacefully. Each child held something small: a book, a tool, a flower, a simple gift. "These are the gifts they will bring to the world," Light explained. The children smiled gently. They did not rush toward Till or Middle. They stood calmly, as if waiting for their time. Till felt warmth in his chest. Middle squeezed his hand softly. High above them, the bluebird appeared once more. This time it glowed more clearly. Its feathers shone like morning sky. For a moment, it rested near Till's shoulder. He did not reach for it. He only watched, and the bird remained there, just a little longer. Then slowly it rose into the light and faded. Light turned toward the children. "It is time to return," Light said gently. The bright place softened. The figures around them grew faint. Till and Mittil felt the ground beneath them shift. The journey was ending.